Good evening, everybody. It's 6:15, so we're going to get started. Feel free at any time during the ceremony to get up, grab some food. There's plenty of food. That food's for you guys. We are not going to take that home. We don't want it to go to waste. So whatever time you want to grab some food, just grab some food. So what I have to say right now is thank you. Thank you for all of you for attending the 2018 Phi Theta Kappa formal induction ceremony. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you. We are here this evening to officially induct our new members into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and to celebrate and honor this miraculous achievement. Phi Theta Kappa is the National Honor Society for community colleges, and we are proud to induct these new members into the Grand Rapids Community College Chapter Alpha Upsilon Kappa. The 4 pillars of PTK success are scholarship, service, leadership, and fellowship. And through our pillars at PTK, we succeed in all academic areas. At GRCC, we afford opportunities for all of our members to actively engage in each pillar and increase their skills and knowledge in each area. Students must meet and maintain each of these high academic standards to be accepted into PTK, and we are pleased to have so many outstanding students at Grand Rapids Community College that are being inducted this evening. I would like to formally introduce the current leaders of the Alpha Upsilon Kappa chapter of Phi Theta Kappa at Grand Rapids Community College. If you want to just wave when I say your name. Morgan Brown, current president and current regional president and current international president candidate. Next on the list is myself. My name is Marcus Barisi, and I am the vice president for this academic year. Up next, we have Ernesto Farias, our current treasurer. We have Druin Talley, our current secretary. And we have Eli Paparella, our current vice president of Hallmarks. This year, we had 3 PTK advisors. First up, Aaron Busker. Next, Lene Selberg. And finally, James Schaefer. We call him Jim. Also among us in this room, we are very pleased to announce we have several administrators. First up, we have the Associate Provost and the Dean of Student Affairs, Tina Hoxie. Where are you at, Tina? We have the Associate Dean of Student Success and Retention, Raynard Ross. And also, who was supposed to be here this evening but couldn't make it, are the Provost and Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs, Dr. Lori Chesley. We'll honor her while she's not here. The Dean of Student Success and Retention, John Cowles. And the Director of Student Life, Lina Blair. Now, I'm sure that all of those people would be very appreciative of being able to spend that opportunity with you guys here to celebrate your achievement, but unfortunately they weren't able to come. So let's just make sure that they know that we wanted them to be here. There is one additional guest that, I almost forgot this evening, who is happy to provide an introduction to our ceremony as our keynote speaker. This presenter has been an educator for over 25 years. He received an associate's degree, so he's one of us, from York College in Nebraska, a bachelor's from Oklahoma Christian University, a master's from the University of Central Oklahoma, and a doctorate from the University of Oklahoma. Before living in Grand Rapids, our keynote speaker was the Vice President for Academic Affairs at Oklahoma State University, before becoming the Vice President and Dean for Workforce Development at Grand Rapids Community College. In addition to academic achievement, our keynote speaker has contributed to the community through a variety of ways, including membership on the Board of Directors for Goodwill of Greater Grand Rapids, Boys and Girls Clubs of Grand Rapids, and the Heart of West Michigan United Way. He also serves on the boards of West Michigan Works, the Employers Association in Grand Rapids, and The Right Place. I would now like to introduce to you our keynote speaker and the 10th College President of Grand Rapids Community College, Dr. Bill Pink.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My goodness, guys, I'm so happy to be with you tonight. I just drove in, actually, and I'll tell you in what Marcus mentioned with our provost, Dr. Chesley, and our Dean Cowles being gone. They are in Chicago at the Higher Learning Commission Conference, which is our accreditation that we answer to at GRCC. I actually was there myself and drove in just a couple hours ago. So if I tend to start lagging a little bit, just, you know, the shock treatment helps or something there. Welcome. Glad you're here at GRCC. Glad you are, in case you didn't know this, you are at the oldest community college in the state of Michigan. You are sitting on that campus right now, and you are also sitting on one of the oldest community colleges in the country. And so I always like to tell people that, because sometimes, especially when I'm here in the city and doing things like this, I always like to mention that, because I always want to either remind you or inform you of what GRCC does and what this place means to the city of Grand Rapids and to West Michigan. Because when I'm at a conference like I just returned from in Chicago, where there are literally thousands of educators from colleges and universities there, what's really cool is to be at that venue like that, where HLC covers 19 states of accreditation. But to sit in that space and for people to see my name tag that says President of Grand Rapids Community College, and for them to recognize, oh, you're the president at Grand Rapids. To know that we have an institution that is not only regionally known, but actually nationally known, that's an honor. It's an honor to be a part of that, for me at least, to be the leader. It's an awesome burden as well, which I gladly take because of you, because of our students. Because we are all about trying to give you the best education possible. What I think is cool about you is that in that process of us trying to provide the best education possible, you are some of the few who have risen to the top academically of that whole process. So that's pretty cool to me, because it's really neat for me to be able to stand in front of you as being what we call a number of the best of our best when it comes to academics, and to be able to stand in front of you and not only say congratulations, but say a couple of words just to challenge you. I won't take a whole lot of time to do that. I'll probably go for an intermission at about 8:30, and I should be wrapped up by 9:45. That is a lie, because you would not be here if that was the truth. But let me do this. I want to say to you, because one thing that the officers, one thing that they ask me about is to kind of talk about, from my standpoint, when I was in college, did I have any clue whatsoever that one day I would be or have a goal of being a college president one day? And that's a great question. And the way I would answer that is this. The thing that was important to me when I was in your shoes as a college student, it was so important to me to listen to the people who were, as I say, the voices who were the ones who encouraged me and who actually said things that they probably had no idea I was listening so closely to. Let me tell you what that was like. So one of my favorite professors at college, his name was Dr. John Vincent. I'll never forget him. The reason I'll never forget him is because he was an incredible professor, but I actually went back to that university years later and was a faculty member, and my office was right across the hallway from his. And so I remember the day that as a junior, getting ready to be a senior as I remember it in college, and I was a teacher educator. So I was looking at teacher education. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to teach students. So I remember having a conversation with Dr. Vincent, and I won't forget this, because what he did that day, and here I was, a junior in college, and I was a basketball player that you probably couldn't tell. I was a basketball player at the college, at the university there, and I had my mind on basketball. I had my mind on what I was gonna do when I graduated, because when I graduate, I'm gonna be a college basketball coach. I'm going to coach college basketball so I can make a difference in the lives of those young men, just like someone made a difference in my life on the basketball court. That's what my goal was. But I will never forget Dr. Vincent that day. Sitting in his office, he looked at me and he said, "You know what? If you never get a PhD, I will be very disappointed in you." That wasn't in my plan. Coaches don't have PhDs. At least that's what I thought. But I heard him say that day, and I thought, dang it, you weren't supposed to challenge me that way. Because to me, I had a different trajectory going here. I had a different life planned. I wasn't going to do that. And so I got up and I left his office, and I just kind of gave it in my mind, physically I said, man, thank you, Dr. Vincent. I turned around in my mind and went, yeah, right. But I kept that in my head because it kept coming back to me. Graduated from that institution with my bachelor's degree, ready to go coach. Was coaching college basketball first year out of college. Here I am, college basketball coach. And I thought, man, this is it. This is what I said I was wanting to do. But there was a voice in the back of my mind that kept saying, if you don't get your PhD, I will be so disappointed in you. So I went home one summer, back to see my family in Texas. That's where we grew up. My mom and dad were still living at that point. And my dad who had a junior high education, he looked at me one day because I told him, Dad, I think I need to get a master's degree. Because I had heard, and my coach in college said, if you're going to really coach at the big level, it'd be good for you to have a master's degree because sometimes they look at you a little closer when you have a master's degree. So I said, well, dang it, I guess I have to get a master's degree. So I told my dad, I said, I think I need to go and get a master's degree because I'm already working and I need this degree. And my dad, because he had about a 7th or 8th grade education, so he really didn't understand college all that much. He just worked at a college because he was a custodian at the college. And so he worked there, but he really didn't understand too much. So he said this. He said, well, okay, Dr. Pink. There's that doctor thing again. And so he called me, and I thought, well, no, I wanted to explain to him, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But I said, no, if I get into it, he may not understand. I'm not going to go there. My father ended up passing away several years later. And 2 things stayed in my head. 1, I will be so disappointed in you if you don't get a PhD. And 2, you go ahead, Dr. Pink. And so after I finished that master's degree and I was coaching and teaching and everything felt good, I remember walking across the stage for that master's degree, and I remember shaking the hand of the president at the University of Central Oklahoma who said, congratulations. And I remember going back and sitting down in my chair, and I had 2 feelings that day, friends. One feeling was, got it done, got it done. But the other feeling was, but you're not finished yet. And so about 6 years later, 2004, I walked across the stage at the University of Oklahoma as a PhD graduate with people like Dr. Vincent and other people I can tell you sitting in the audience. My father wasn't there because he had passed away. But there was something about my PhD program that I really want to leave you with today. Because here's what a PhD student, and many of you who will do that, now I'm putting it in your head. Many of you who will do that, here's what they're going to say to you. And this is what I want to challenge you with tonight. You will go into that doctoral program and you will say, I know what I want to study, because they're going to ask you, so what is your study? What are you going to research? What's your study? And so you're going to think and you're going to think about it. Then you will come up with the study and you'll say, here's what I want to look at. I want to look at this. And you will come up with what this is. And do you know what your PhD counselor and your PhD chairman of your committee, you know what he or she is going to say to you after you've thought so hard about this and you've gone and you've done some of this literary research, you've done all these things and you come up with, here's what I want to study. You know what they're going to ask you? 2 words. So what? That's what they're going to say to you. Because you're going to say, I know exactly what I want to do. I know because this is the research I want to find out. I want to find out this. And they're going to say, that's great that you want to find that out, but so what? What they're telling you is that even if you study this, even if you say, here's what my research is going to be, I'm going to spend 2 years researching this. The reason why they ask you, so what, is that they want you to be able to say, this matters. Whatever this is matters. And it matters that someone looks at it and makes up their mind. Here, based on data, here's what I have found out. And you will have to defend the question, so what? Because that's what I like to leave you with today, friends. Because I look at this brochure, I look at the names in here, and so often when I come with this type of a message, I have people going, well, that's what he's going to talk about? Because my challenge to you is, even though your name is listed in this program, and even though we are honoring you tonight, I will ask you the same question that Dr. Frank McQuarrie, my chair of my PhD committee, I'll ask you the same question tonight that he asked me back in 2004 when I thought I had, here's what the study is going to be. He said, that's awesome, Bill. So what? And my so what to you is this. You have accomplished, this is awesome, by the way, friends. This says that you have risen to the top academically. But my question of so what to you is merely this. You have done that. What are you going to do with it? Because that's what my chair was saying to me. You're going to study that. But what are you going to do with it, Pink? What are you going to do with it? Because if you accomplish this, which you have, and you graduate from Grand Rapids Community College, and you go on to graduate from one of our great four-year institutions, and you go on to get a master, whatever you do, don't squander the thought of what you have accomplished this day. And what I mean by don't squander it, don't waste it. Don't waste this. Take what you have done and multiply it 3, 5, 7-fold. And whatever that looks like for you, you get that done. Whatever that looks like to you. But the so what question is for you tonight. Because you take what this honor means to you and you carry it on to say, what is next in this journey? Don't allow the journey to end with your name in a program. Don't allow this journey to end that way. Don't allow the journey to end, well, I finished this degree or I finished this school year. The trap, friends, is that trap that says, well, you finished this school year, whew, take some time off, rest a little bit from it. It can be a trap, friends, because rest is comfortable. Rest gets very comfortable. If you have to rest, rest, but only rest for a little bit. Get at it and make sure that you answer the so what question with, here's what. That your so what matters, not only to you, but to those who are sitting at the same table with you right now. Because several of you have loved ones that came with you tonight. Those people, somehow or another, I would guess, have something to do with the success that you are basking in tonight. Whether they supported you, whether if you have children that they said, yeah, I'll watch the kids tonight, whether they said, yeah, you got to study, I'll take care of this for you, or let me drill you on this. Somehow or another, the person sitting at the table with you, those of you who brought people with you, probably have something to do with your success. And those of you who didn't have anyone come tonight, you probably have people that you know that you could probably point out that you know had so much to do with you being this successful tonight. They are your challenge. Because those are the people, and if you are that person who accompanied them tonight, I'm giving you a job. You make sure you keep bringing up the question, so what? And your answer to so what means that you do all you can to be the biggest rock star you can possibly be academically. You just knock it out of the park every time you have an opportunity. And you take the challenge of so what and you say, here's what. so that on the backside of all this thing called higher education, that on the backside of that, you walk across a stage, however many stages that you decide to walk across. That associate's degree stage, that bachelor's degree stage, however many you decide. And make sure that's your decision, by the way. Because you too, many of you sitting in this room tonight, I'm just warning you right now, you too will have that voice in the back of your head. And that voice in the back of your head will say, this is awesome, but you're not done yet. And you do it, and you answer that question each and every time that you sit in someone's classroom. You answer that question. So what? Yeah. Here's what. You guys have an awesome opportunity. Awesome opportunity. And what this says is that you are on your way. You are definitely on your way. Now, if you are one of our inductees tonight, would you stand right now, please? Those of you who are still sitting, would you please give these people a round of applause tonight? You guys who are standing, I'll leave you with 2 words. So what? Thank you very much. Be seated.
Someone forgot to ask something. Can we get a round of applause for Dr. Bill Pink? I really envy that man because Dr. Bill Pink, there's a couple of good things about him, just a few, not very many. He gets to call himself president. He gets to call himself Dr. Pink. And I think a lot of ladies in this room are going to agree with me. When he goes out and he has to look nice, he doesn't have to worry about his hair. Just, it's already decided for him. The next person that's going to speak tonight is actually someone who's my personal friend. I introduced her earlier this evening. With a lot of titles, and I don't think any of those matter. They probably matter to her, but to me, this is just my friend. I've known this person for two whole years, something like that, and the way this person I met is kind of funny. It's kind of awkward for her, funny for me. I went to one of the first PTK meetings, and I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, my name is Marcus. I'm interested in PTK," and you know. And I went to the next meeting. I said, "Hey, I'm Marcus. I'm back. I'm still interested in PTK." And the next meeting, and "Hey, I'm Marcus." And not one of those times did she remember my name. Not one. I think it was like last week she actually remembered. It was the first time. But this person has shown me another side of herself that I don't think a lot of people know about. She has dealt with a lot, and she chooses not to show any of it. She just kind of keeps it inside of her, and she makes sure that everyone else is taken care of before herself. And I really admire that about her. She's obviously, out of this entire room, she's the most dedicated person to PTK. The whole live and bleed, the live and breathe thing, that, you know, my blood runs blue or whatever, my blood runs PTK for this person. So I'd like to introduce Morgan Brown, our current president. She's going to talk to you guys for a little bit.
Let's see if I can not cry. Hi, so my name is Morgan Brown. I am the current chapter president here at GRCC of Phi Theta Kappa. I'm also the current Michigan regional president. So if you have any questions regionally, let me know too. But I want to give you some of the member benefits that can help answer that "so what" question that he was just talking about. So who we are. This kind of provides our mission statement, but I like to shorten it. And I try and run our chapter that way, and I've tried to run the region that way this past year, to recognize and encourage individual growth. So this organization is really about recognizing all of you wonderful students for your academic achievements, and also trying to further your growth as a person, as a student, as a community member, into whatever you believe that you can be, and even some things that you don't think you can be, but you can be. So what we do, I didn't read the slides. So we have our Honors in Action project, and this is something we do every year. This is based on an honors study topic. The best way I can describe this, and this is how our CEO describes it as well, is undergraduate research. So basically every single chapter works together to research a topic around a certain theme, and it allows for us to develop a project that then not only helps our college and our chapter, but also helps the community around us. This past year, we focused on suicide prevention and awareness, doing a lot of different things with that. We also have college projects. Those are more of just an action type project. So you get to work with administration on campus. We actually consulted Dr. Pink this year on kind of what we wanted to do. And so this year we actually worked on the transfer process for students coming from another institution to GRCC. So not the incoming freshman, but someone who's already had a bit of collegiate experience who's coming back and making that transfer process a little bit easier on them. So we have conferences. There are 2 regional conferences during the year at least, if not a third one. And then there's technically 2 international conferences. So the regional ones are, the first one is LOCK, which is a leadership conference. And it's wonderful. You go to the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore and you stay in cabins and you eat camp food. There's no Wi-Fi because a rat chews through the cord every year. And it's a lot of fun. And then another one that we do on the regional level is called Regionals, which is actually in May. If you're interested in something like that, let us know, because we are currently working on seeing if anybody would like to go. This is an opportunity to get to know other people in the region, to do some leadership development. You also get to elect new regional officers, which is so cool. And you also have the chance to win some awards at that conference on the regional level. We do a lot of fellowship on campus. We have meetings every other week for the chapter. We try and do other events on campus. We have an ice cream social, that type of thing. We're looking to do some more of that in the following year. Like I said, personal growth is definitely a big thing for us through conferences, through working on these projects. And then the community service projects. So we've worked within the community to do different things, whether it be helping out and volunteering at a 5K to volunteering at a soup kitchen. I know a few of us have done that in the past as well. Haha, this is my favorite slide. So first of all, the recognition. I don't know how many of you know this, but your Phi Theta Kappa membership is now going to be notated on your transcript. So what that means is when you send those transcripts to those universities that I'm guessing that most of you are going to be transferring to, they're going to see that. And there are actually over 750 universities in the United States that will give you a scholarship just because you're a member. Nice. That actually accumulates to over $37 million in scholarships for PTK members just through transfer, which is amazing. There's also other awards that you can win as a member, which is another part of recognition. You can get regalia, so there's a key that you can buy for graduation when you walk across the stage, which I think is really cool. Not many people have too much bling on at graduation, so anything that sets you apart is pretty awesome. So you have access to a bunch of different things. So we have College Fish, Competitive Edge, and then the PTK Career Resource Center. So College Fish will actually, you can build a profile and it connects you to different universities based on what you have on there, and you can apply for scholarships through it. I know last year's regional president actually, because of his profile on there, got a full ride to a university that was out of state, which we all know out of state tuition is higher. So that's pretty cool. Competitive Edge is an online kind of like a class that you take. It's for professional development. You develop soft skills and that type thing. They're actually working to make it more centered to students and the field that they're going into. So that's soon to come. When you complete that, I apologize. You get a little pin when you finish, and when you actually do finish, you will have completed a case study, which you can then enter into a case study competition and possibly win some awards for. And then the Resource Center includes help with job interview skills, letters of recommendation, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, I talked a little bit about scholarships, but there's actually, in total, over $93 million available every single year just to PTK students. There's 2 main scholarship applications that you can fill out during the year. If you haven't applied for the spring scholarship, go on ptk.org under scholarships. It's open until May 1st. There's so much available to you just through that it will be completely worth your time. Go ahead. Oh yeah. So 5-star competitive edge I talked about. Go ahead. The next one. Yeah, so there are many opportunities within our chapter as well. So going to leadership conferences, we do also have drive-ins, which we actually hosted our first one this last year, which was awesome. And then there are executive board positions. We actually just finished filling our team for this next year, which you'll get to meet those people later on. And those opportunities are also open to you guys for the next year, or year after next year as well. And there's definitely endless opportunities to grow. Oh goodness, okay, so that's called an ice bucket challenge. We do that as a fundraiser every year. We do a lot of fundraising, that type thing, which helps to kind of pay for some stuff, and it's a lot of fun, especially when you get to dump a bucket of ice water on a certain college president's head. That's my favorite part. Go ahead and go to the next one. Yeah, so I talked a little bit about the conferences. So those are some of the pictures. You'll get to, if you go, you get to meet people from across the country, or not the country, the state, and sometimes some people across the country. We actually invited people from almost all the regions to come to a leadership conference this year, and we had about 6 or 7 different states that came, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so I'm going to kind of wrap up the member benefits part of this by telling you a little bit about my story. I did not believe that I was going to get involved in college whatsoever. I was way too involved in high school, I'll admit that. If we all know Lene, she was not going to let that happen. So 2 years ago, I was in here in this room for my induction, and she was like, hey, you want to go to a conference? And I was like, maybe. I was by myself at that conference, no idea what was happening. People were using words that I had no idea what they were saying. And on the way back, she was like, yeah, I think you're gonna be our chapter president. What did I get myself into? But I have to say, it's been one of the best, if not the best experiences of my life. It's true, I do bleed PTK now. Being chapter president for 2 years and regional president this year has been amazing, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. Being able to go to these conferences and meet some of my best friends has been life-changing, and I do recommend that you take any opportunity that you have in this group, because it's not going to disappoint. I've never had a bad experience in this group, so I think that's saying something. So I want to kind of congratulate all of you on taking what I believe is the most important and crucial step in your collegiate journey, which is joining this organization, because we're not just a community, we're a family. And we're 3 million strong, so welcome to the family.
Thank you, Morgan. Up next, we have someone who, the best way I can describe this person is just simply an enigma. I have no idea. I'm the kind of person who I'm very, very curious, and I like learning about things. I hate not knowing things. I want to make sure I understand everything completely. And this person, I've known them for a year and a half, coming up on 2 years now. I have no idea anything. I've lost. But in my time of knowing this person, I have been able to see they are the most dependable person in our chapter on our e-board. This person is always there for us, always takes that extra step, makes sure everything is done, makes sure that if there's anything that needs to be done, they're just right there. They're weird about it, I'll give you that, but they make sure that they're participating. They make sure that even when they don't want to, even when they're uncomfortable, that they still want to be. And I think by his demeanor, you will understand what I'm talking about. So I'd like to introduce our treasurer, Ernesto Farias, the most dependable person I know.
Thank you. So if you ask me specifically what got me into PTK, I wouldn't really know the answer to that. I just felt, I just like helping this group out. But I have an idea on what to answer that. So if I go back to high school, I just think about, I wasn't doing so well in high school. I was actually failing a few courses, and it wasn't until my last year of high school when I finally met a group of people that they were really motivated for education, pursuing education, and that just turned me around. That just made me realize, I do have the opportunity, I do have the option of pushing myself even further. And so I didn't graduate with a high GPA, but I graduated high school with, that motivation to just keep pushing forward. And so I continued on to GRCC, and at GRCC, I've been able to meet this group at PTK, and I found that they have a similar effect. They are a support group. And so one of the things I've realized is when you read the brochures about PTK, one of the things they promote is, they say they promote academic excellence. And when I read that, I ask, how do they do that? How do they just give me a certificate that says good job? Because that doesn't motivate me. So, but I've gone to their conferences. That's one of the things that's pulled me into PTK even further. When I went to my first conference, I believe that was the one that had no electricity. So the power went out, so that really causes us to blend in together more. And so I learned a lot more about them, but even at these conferences, you get to meet a lot of people. They have all kinds of different backgrounds, all kinds of experiences. And from these conferences, I find that I always leave them feeling more inspired because I hear about different people's, goals and what they're doing with, pretty much what they're doing with PTK. So I might go into them, my goals are already okay, right? But these people, when they tell their stories, they just leave me feeling more inspired. Like, my goals were okay, but now I feel like I can set my goals at even higher levels. And so in addition to that, I realized that all of these people, when you're at these conferences, they might be very different from you, but at the same time, they're really similar to you because they all have that drive in them. They all have that, motivation to push forward in their education. So I see PTK as a really good support network, and that is what this team especially has been to me. I see a lot of hard workers that, they're able to push forward. Yeah, we have busy lives, we have a lot to do. Sometimes things come crashing down, but we can make them, we can push forward, we get things done, and I think that's really important to have. So I congratulate you all on being new PTK members. I hope you are able to build your PTK story. Thank you.
That dude is an enigma, I tell you. Up next, this one's kind of a difficult one for me because I think all of us agree it's hard to admit that someone's better than you. And this person is better than me in one specific regard, as this person is the most caring, most trustworthy, most friendly, really, the guy that you want on your team. Maybe not because, not saying that they do, but even if they don't bring anything to the table, what they bring is a positive environment. And I feel like that's something that's really difficult to do because I think we've all been a part of groups where there's a lot of negativity, a lot of negative people. And I think that if you throw this person into any negative environment, 100 negative people, somehow, I don't know how they do it, they can turn it around and they can introduce a positive atmosphere. This person I met actually at the last induction ceremony, and I didn't realize that we actually had met before. I didn't really know what to expect from this person, but after a year and a half of being with them, I now know that if I ever need someone just to talk to, just to be friendly with, I know who to call. One specific example that comes immediately to mind is, I don't know how many of you have significant others in the room, but when Valentine's Day comes around, you buy gifts for your significant other, maybe a family member, I don't know if you have to, but maybe your mom, I don't know, okay? But this person on Valentine's Day, I don't know where they came up with this idea, but they bought like 30 flowers, and every single woman they came across, they said, Happy Valentine's Day, here's a flower. Happy Valentine's Day, here's a flower. People that this person had never met, people that this person had met, just anybody. There are some women in this room that know what I'm talking about, if you remember. Now, I like this, except when you give a flower to like someone I cared about, and then it was, all right. So I'd like to introduce Drew and Tally, the most caring person I've ever met.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. That warms my heart. When Marcus asked me to talk to you guys tonight, and first of all, let me say congratulations to all of you. You are awesome. This is a big deal, so from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. When Marcus came to me and said that he wanted me to talk tonight, I didn't know really what I wanted to say, and then he asked me for a picture, and I didn't know what picture to provide. But then I just came across this one, and this is me actually almost roughly 1 year to the day at, well, where I was then, where you are now. And I guess I chose it because this guy doesn't really see anything coming. He doesn't see the great things in his future, and it just amazes me because if you would have told this guy that he was going to be secretary of the Alpha Upsilon Kappa chapter of Grand Rapids Community College, if you would have told him that he would rise to the position of president of our resurrected Native American student organization, among any other accolades, he would have thought you were crazy. But in retrospect, I think it was this organization that really got me to achieve those things, that really inspired a lot of confidence in me. You know, Ernie talked about the conferences, and those are awesome. And I urge all of you to get involved in those. And more so than that, I urge you to get involved in your college action project, your honors and action project, whatever those turn out to be. Because that's the way that we really make a difference. That's the way that we really help each other. And I guess that's something that's always been central to my heart, is that that's a big part of why we're here, is to help each other and love each other. And I guess that's really what I brought. What I take away from this whole experience is the connections that I've made, the friendships that I've made. I mean, there's more to it than just the scholarships and the academic rigor that's required of you. I mean, those things are noble pursuits themselves. You know, I'm not putting those down, but I think, like Marcus was saying, there's a lot of negativity in the world, and there's a lot of disconnection and divisiveness. And I hope to bring more, I hope to do something about that. And I'm just so grateful for this experience that has, I think, better equipped me to fulfill that very thing. So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Drew. And I think everyone's just a little bit happier now as soon as he speaks. The last person that I had the honor of introducing tonight is someone that, they always say that you when you go to work, you have like your work person, and then when you go home, you're like the real you. Like as soon as you don't have to wear like uncomfortable clothes anymore, just straight into pajamas. Like you're a completely different person. The ice cream bucket comes out, no shame, no embarrassment. That's what I like to describe with this person. This person I actually knew, not in those ways, okay, it's just an analogy. I've never seen their pajamas, they're probably awesome. But I knew this person in high school, and we didn't really talk. I kind of just saw them from a distance, and I always thought they were wild, man. Oof, man, what are you doing now? And now I see them in a different light. I see them in like clothes, and they're looking nice, and they're going to conferences, and they're a part of PTK, and they're motivated to do things. And it was just a complete shift. I mean, it really surprised me what this person was capable of. And I don't know how, again, like I said, I'm very curious. I like to study people. I kind of watch them sometimes, and I make sure I know like how they do things. And this person is not like Ernie, not Enigma. It's just they get from point A to point B, but I really don't know how. Like, let me give you an example. This person actually ended up at our induction ceremony last year, and they were just handing out certificates, and I hadn't seen this person in like months, and they just showed up, and they were just there, and they were in a hat, and everyone was in suits, and I was like, how did you get here? Like, he's like, I don't know, Aaron told me to come. I was like, did you have an appointment like today? And he's like, well, yeah, he just told me to come. I just hand out certificates. That's all I gotta do. And that's how this person's career in PTK started. That's how it happened. He just showed up one day, got his hat on, and hey, I'm interested in learning about how to be successful in the future. And they ended up at our ceremony. And then they found themselves at all of our conferences, and now they're coming with us to Catalyst, and now they are actively involved, and they're transferring out of GRCC, and I don't know how they did it at all. I really don't. They always ended up, I'm not saying that they're bad, I'm just saying I am amazed by how capable this person is. Every single day that we had meetings over the summer, this person came in and complained. I'm gonna call them out. They complained about how hard Calc 2 was. When we had meetings, we had to like schedule in first 15 minutes, this person complaining about Calc 2. We had to schedule it in, because they just went on and on about. Hold on, is your professor here? Okay, so no, we're good. So they just would not stop complaining. But at the end of it, this person not only passed, but this person got one of the highest scores in the class, and they succeeded. And I think they are in the same boat. I don't know how I got there, but I did it. So I have the honor of introducing Eli Paparella, our Vice President of Hallmarks.
Like Morgan, I didn't really plan on getting involved in college. In high school, I didn't really participate in things like that. Sorry, you gotta bear with me. I'm a little nervous getting up here. It's been a while. But it's kind of interesting how it all turned out. Transferred here, came here, and I met with Aaron just to get like a schedule in order, you know what I mean? And she happened to be the Phi Theta Kappa advisor. So of course she plugged that and wanted me to get involved there. And I was like, I thought about it and everything, went home, and I was interested, because I wanted to transfer. I wanted to go on to better things, to come to kind of, I don't know the word, to just prove to high school that I came from, that, a kid like me can do something, you know what I mean? So then I went, and for further academic advising and winter break, I met with Lene by accident, who also told me to go, because they are both academic advisors, who encouraged me to join Phi Theta Kappa. And then I was like, okay, wow, I really need to. And then the winter semester came. I'm go to the bathroom. I don't know if you remember this, Marcus, but you were in the bathroom right next to me. And he tells me, hey, man, I'm secretary of Phi Theta Kappa. You got to get involved. And I knew him from high school. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure. I'm going to try it out. So I applied for the board membership. I got in. That was my first experience, was going to that induction ceremony. So this marks a year from last year of my first involvement in PTK. And yeah, I fell in love. I really enjoyed it. I really love the people that I'm around. I don't say it enough. I don't say it at all, but I love you guys. And I'm very grateful to have the experiences that I've had. I thank God that I was able to just do this. You know, at community college, I feel like there's a lot of separation between individuals, and I found, you know, people I like to be around and things like that, and they push me academically in places that, you know, even when I was complaining in Calc 2, it helped because, you know, it had someone to talk to about it. I know Marcus has a rigorous course schedule as well, so just to know other people are going through it, it really gives you an aura of, all right, let's get it done together. I thank you guys, seriously. You guys are on for a really good ride. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And executive board memberships, it's a big challenge. There's a lot of work to be done. And the best way I would describe the executive board experience, or really just chapter membership in general, is you meet with very talented individuals, very educated individuals, very motivated individuals, and you choose 2 issues that really bother you, and you work really hard to get it done. I don't think there's many areas that you can make that kind of an impact. So it's really nice to have that outlet and get all that drive out, because I know you guys are all driven individuals. So that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys very much.
Can we just get one more round of applause for the entire executive board? Not a lot of people hear my story, and I don't want to bore you. Yeah, it's not very fun. But if I had to sum it all up into a couple sentences, is just a lot of bad things can happen to you. And I think some people in this room understand what I'm talking about. When you go through something that's really difficult, and you feel like you're all alone and you don't have anybody, because you don't, and you're just trying so hard to be yourself, you know? I feel like we lose that in times of, you know, desperation and despair. So when I came to GRCC, I had nothing, absolutely nothing to my name, and GRCC opened the doors to me, and GRCC offered me a second chance, and I can't thank them enough. I can't thank Dr. Pink. Thanks for opening the doors, man. You actually opened the door for me. But looking back, I remember the first time I walked in to this campus, and I think that, you know, you don't have to raise your hand, you don't have to admit it, but when you walk through those doors, you're like, oh, let's do it again. All right, let's just get it over with, just one day at a time. And I walked through, and I didn't want to be here, you know. I'm a diehard Michigan fan. I wanted to be at the University of Michigan. And unfortunately, through my circumstances, I wasn't able to do that. So when I walked through these doors, I was disappointed that this is where I ended up. And that was probably 2.5 years ago. And I'm about 3 weeks away from never walking through those doors ever again. And it makes me really sad, because GRCC, I know so many people here. I know so many faces. I've created something here. I started with nothing, and now I have something. So my advice to every single person here is, even if you don't want to, take advantage of every single opportunity that you have. You're currently sitting in this room because you decided, I don't know if an advisor told you, or if a professor told you, or if you just looked it up online, you decided to be a part of this organization. And if you truly believe in that decision to become a part of this organization, a lot of good things can happen to you, like a lot of good things have happened to me. I have a lot of people to thank. I don't even have time to thank them, but you know who you are. My entire advising staff, my executive board, Dr. Bill Pink, all Associate Dean Ross, Tina Hoxie in the back. You guys have seriously changed my entire life. I always wanted to go to the University of Michigan, and because of you guys, I found out that I was accepted into the University of Michigan 2 months ago, when before no one would even look at me. So my advice to you is, take advantage of every single opportunity that you have. I truly mean it. It truly has been a life-changing experience. You have no idea the relationships that you can build here. And there's one person in this room that knows what relationship I'm referring to. Bailey Cummings, all the way in the back. That is my lovely girlfriend, who didn't know that I would be saying this, so I am not going to be able to talk to her tonight because she hates me now. But I just want to say thanks, Bales. We met at Catalyst, and now we have this relationship that I didn't think we would ever have. So I want to say thank you to everyone that came here tonight. We are about to begin the reason you actually came here, so I have to introduce 3 very important people in my life: Morgan Brown one more time, Aaron Busker, and Jim Schaefer.
Okay, so the fun part, the really structured part. Honored guests and fellow Phi Theta Kappa members, I am pleased to present to you these candidates for membership in our Honor Society. These students have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship as their hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into the Alpha Upsilon Kappa chapter of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. You are about to be inducted into a scholarly fellowship which embraces community colleges not only of your own state, but of the nation and the world. This fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa, and your chapter is Alpha Upsilon Kappa. After induction, you will find among the members an atmosphere of scholarship to which you must give yourself in order that the organization may be meaningful to you. I have in my hand a torch, symbolic of knowledge. Yes, I know this is electronic. Which is the servant of wisdom, which dwells with prudence and leads in a way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment. I have the white rose, which I lost my spot. Okay, white rose typifying purity and beauty of life, with its white bud signifying intellectual associations. We have given you rose pins as a symbol of our newly formed intellectual friendship. If you have not put them on yet, please do so. This is the emblem of Phi Theta Kappa. It consists of a golden slab keyed at the top and bottom. The golden field, like the coast of our arms, refers to the golden opportunities that abound on every hand for society folk to evidence their culture and perform good works. Since gold is the most noble of metals, it shall have a further significance to our society, for it shall represent the nobility attained by those who achieve intellectual leadership. Across the slab, you will observe a black band. It represents the 3 ideals which bind us together, and the cultural self-control, which is a necessary foundation for true wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Shining through the black enamel background are the 3 Greek letters for which the initials of the Greek words meaning wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Behind the band is a wreath, on one side composed of oak leaves and on the other side laurel. The oak leaves stand for stability and strength of character, as symbolized by the sturdy oak. The graceful curling leaves of the laurel signify achievement and success, all attributes for membership in our society. Above the band is the representation of the head of Athena, a symbol of learning. In the base appear the Greek letters meaning light, the light of knowledge and learning, the common ideal for members of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. This badge stands as a symbol for the high idealism of our organization and membership in our select group. You have studied the constitution of this organization, the purpose of which it is to foster a spirit of devotion to study and to scholarly ideals among its members, and whose principles are embodied in the Greek letters, which stand for wisdom, aspiration, and purity. I cannot say the Greek words, I'm sorry. Now that the standards and ideals of this organization have been fully revealed to you, you come to complete the pledge which admits you into complete fellowship. Okay. Repeat, inductees, if you could repeat after me. I state your name.
Let's try one more time.
Say a little bit louder, please. Inductees, why don't you go ahead and stand up. All right, here we go. I state your name. Do solemnly promise. On this 10th day of April, to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa, and to keep this object and aim in mind, and I do solemnly pledge allegiance to my fellow members and promise to aid them in all worthy endeavors. As each new member's name is called, he or she moves to the induction table, signs the chapter record book in the designated place for members, and lights his or her candle, forming the torch of knowledge.
You can be seated. So at this time, we're going to actually have the formal induction. So we're going to call each inductee's name, and when your name's called, we ask that you walk over to the front table that has the candles on it. We're going to have you sign the chapter record book up there, take a candle, and then you're going to receive your certificate from Dr. Pink. We do want you to have your photo taken with Dr. Pink with your certificate, and if you can please come on stage and wait while all names are called. Once you're all up here, we're gonna have a charge from Lene, and then we're gonna do a group photo at the end. I will go and stand over there, so if you forget anything, I will let you know what you need to do.
Okay, first up, Anna Abernathy. Anna is majoring in criminal justice, and she will be transferring to Ferris State University. Elizabeth Aronica. Her major is pre-communications, and she's transferring maybe to Oregon State. Petra Dedine. Petra is majoring in international relations and is transferring to Grand Valley State University. Sarah Dolzer. Sarah is majoring in criminal justice and is not sure where she is going to transfer. Harvadi Duwangdi. Harvadi is majoring in child development and maybe is transferring, but is unsure where she is going. Tikva Finn. Tikva's major is pre-med, and she's transferring to Wayne State University. Emma Frigmansley. Emma is majoring in performance and music, voice specifically, and is also thinking about transferring somewhere. Connor Hartley. Connor's major is microbiology, and he is transferring to the University of Michigan. Philip Kemp. Philip is majoring in civil engineering and is transferring to Western Michigan University. Andrew Kent. Andrew is majoring in computer science and is transferring also to the University of Michigan. Caitlin Kroll. Caitlin's major is education, and she's transferring to Grand Valley State University. Alicia Land. Alicia is majoring in dental hygiene. It's getting crowded up here. Angelica Lopez. Angelica is majoring in child development and is transferring to Grand Valley State University. Kale Merdinsky. Kale is majoring in cellular and molecular biology and is transferring to Grand Valley State University. Stella Mayo. Stella is majoring in business and is transferring to Ferris State University. Stephanie Mendez Ortega. Stephanie is majoring in molecular and cellular biology and is transferring to Ferris State University. Danielle Moe. Danielle is majoring in art. Josiah Shamsky. Josiah is majoring in criminal justice and is transferring, but he's not sure where. Lena Segurdar Duter. How'd I do on that? Lena is majoring in pre-dental and is transferring to Grand Valley State University. Sarah Silkinson. Sarah has an undecided major and she's thinking about transferring. Marley Slowtalk. Marley is majoring in music therapy and is transferring to Western Michigan University. Catherine Stump. Catherine is majoring in clinical exercise science and physical therapy and is transferring to Grand Valley State University. Ivan Chachenko. Ivan is majoring in computer programming and is transferring possibly to Davenport University. Devin Tyner. Devin's majoring in wildlife ecology and conservation and transferring to the University of Florida. Rodney Van Lagen. Rodney's majoring in math secondary education and transferring to Grand Valley State University. And Nathan Verstraat. Nathan is majoring in architecture and is transferring to the University of Michigan. Let's give them all a big hand. At this time, I would like to introduce Lene Selberg.
So, in addition to the new student inductees, we would like to also officially induct someone who has supported our PTK chapter in all of our endeavors. He has provided exceptional guidance and leadership and is the biggest champion for our students and all of their hard work. Dr. Pink, we would like to welcome you as an official member of the Alpha Upsilon Kappa chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, and we would like to present you with this special medallion and your rose pin. If you can please join us in the picture, we will kind of pause the ceremony for a second so that we can get the group pictures, and then we will continue on. Okay, don't leave the stage quite yet. So at this time, It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and to the lively fellowship of scholars it affords. I salute you on all of your accomplishments, and I charge you to explore for the truth and to dedicate yourself to the cultivation of a well-reasoned life, a prelude to service and honor. So welcome and congratulations. Did everybody get the pictures they want? Yep, anybody wants pictures real quick? Otherwise, we're gonna let everybody go back to their seats. We got a couple more cameras coming, all right. So let you guys go back to your seats. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So at this time, we are going to install our new executive board officers. So, new executive board officers, please don't sit down. So, Tikva, Stephanie, Serena, Brian, and Philip. What? Okay. Yep, come on up. Okay, so we're going to kind of go through the official piece here, and then we will have the current officers pass the candle on to the new officers. So, you are charged with the responsibility of learning the duties of your office and executing those duties to the best of your abilities. If you new officers, if you will now repeat after me, I state your name. Do solemnly promise to fulfill to the best of my ability my duties as an officer of the Alpha Upsilon Kappa chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. You are duly recognized as the executive officers of Alpha Upsilon Kappa chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. We pledge to support you through the chapter and all the work that you do. So, our new chapter president, Tikva Finn, will be passed a candle by Morgan Brown, the current president. Our new vice president, Stephanie Mendez Ortega, will be passed a candle by the current vice president, Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown, oh my gosh. I'm losing it now. Those two are like so enmeshed all year long, so I always mess up names. You can talk to my kids too. By Marcus Breesy. Treasurer Brian Guadarrama will be passed the torch by current treasurer Drew and Talley. Ernest, oh my gosh. Why did you guys have me do this? I'm like too emotional. I can't handle this. All of our children are growing up and moving on. Ernesto. Okay. And Vice President of Hallmarks, Philip Camp, will be passed the torch by Eli Paparelli. I know, I totally slaughtered it. What? And then Serena Frank is the new secretary. She was unfortunately unable to be here today. All right, and we've got some closing remarks coming from Marcus.
So, I myself, I don't have a family. Well, I have my family, but I'm not married. I don't have children. I don't have nieces and nephews and everyone that, comes together. But earlier this week, actually this weekend, was my girlfriend's birthday, and I spent it with her family. And her mom said something, and she said it in a joking way, but I think she really meant it, was that she was glad that we all could get together. Her mother, her father, she was there, her sister was there, and I was there. And she said she was glad that the whole family got together. And I took that to heart because I really struggled with that. I felt like I didn't have a place to belong. So while we're all here with my executive board, with my advisors, with my college, with my campus, with all my friends, with the new e-board, with everyone here, can we just have one final round of applause? I would appreciate it greatly. I'm a very, very busy guy. Eli mentioned it. I have a really hard schedule. And sometimes it's difficult to find time for things, but when we're all under the same roof, when we're all in the same room, it's truly a moment that I think we need to cherish. And I know that everyone here is super excited to be here, but I have the honor of closing off this ceremony 25 minutes early. I just want to say that. But I really want to thank each and every single one of you for coming. You're all here for different reasons, but similar reasons. You're either being inducted and you're being recognized for your accomplishment. You're here to honor someone that's being inducted, or you're here because I told you had to be here. And all three of those people should be exactly as excited as the other. Because it really put smiles on the faces, guys. I'm talking to you. Yeah. This is truly an opportunity that I think you won't regret. Like I said before, make sure you take advantage of everything, because we all know, we've all had people in our life that have lost someone. We've all been to a place where we don't understand why what's happening is actually happening. And after something terrible has happened to us, we sit around and think, why? Why did this happen to us? And a lot of the times we come to no logical conclusion, because no one deserves something bad to happen to them. So while you sit here, please remember all the people that weren't able to come here. Please remember all the people that would have wanted to be here. Please remember all the people that you care about. And please remember why you're doing what you're doing. Please know the answer to the question when someone asks you, so what? So I thank you for spending this evening with us. I now conclude this induction ceremony. There is plenty of food, so on your way out, grab as much as you want. Thank you once again for spending your evening with us.